Okay, we are being live streamed. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Angie Atkinson, and I am here with the lovely and talented Lise Colucci. Lise, welcome back.
Hello, thank you very much.
My pleasure. And today we are talking about the collapsed narcissist. Now, as we're, wait a minute, okay, I'm good. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. As we are waiting for people to join us here, I will remind you to keep your eyes on the chat as our mod squad will be in there to share information on how you can get in touch with us and how you can stay with us on these live streams each week and subscribe to both channels and hit the bell notification so that you can be reminded. And don't forget the stuff she's going to say in the chat because we also have a text backup system. All right. So, Lise, talk to me about how are you?
Good.
Good. Let's get us started. Talk about the collapsed
narcissist. It could be anytime a narcissist loses their ability to believe in the grandiose ego facade mask that they wear. So they could be aging. It could be getting fired from a job. It could be you leaving them. Anytime that happens, there's all kinds of things that they do.
Yeah.
So let's
that is a very good
that's my sum up.
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I said let's just start there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I totally am with you. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the thing. So we have, when you're looking at a collapsed narcissist, I mean, a lot of times you'll see them, like it's mentioned, the aging narcissist. I mean, there are situations where like you might see someone who kind of lost all their stuff. Someone would say that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like they lose their looks or their
right.
money or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Whatever it is that they kind of used as a tool to get supply. So let's just, for example, a female narcissist, not always, but often uses her appearance. And then as she gets older, she might use her caregiving skills, or she might use some other form of obligation, some way to get people to do what she wants. And during her time as a very attractive person,
right,
she may be one type of narcissist. Maybe she seems happy all the time. Maybe she seems, whatever. But of course, the people behind closed doors always know. But then when she gets to collapsing, where her looks start to go, and she notices people are noticing her daughter more than herself, or whatever it is that triggers her, then she becomes poor me. Usually, she's, oh, I'm just a poor old lady. Just, nobody cares about me, and she gets a lot of pity supply, right? In one iteration. Sometimes they go the other way, go power hungry. But what have been have you experienced personally or through your clients any collapsed narcissists, Lise?
Yeah, I've seen them go into, there's forms of denial. That didn't really happen. Everything's wonderful. And then playing the nice guy, playing the I just made a video last week about when they act good, when they act really nice, when they act like super. And a lot of times that comes after there's a collapse of something. Yeah. They can't fight it anymore. They can't fight whatever happened because the truth is just so obvious. And then that didn't actually happen that way. No. Or raging fits of,
that's a big one. Yeah.
Like a 3-year-old temper tantrum of the worst kind, and then in a big giant body. Gotta
love that.
Like literally throwing stuff, screaming, crying. And I've also had one, what he did was when he was exposed by me, and he couldn't say anything because caught red-handed. Caught red-handed, couldn't deny it. When I asked, why'd you do this? I don't know. And that was the whole gaslighting and all of that. But then afterward went into this, didn't shower, didn't eat, did nothing but drink alcohol. Like this is the normal personality for this person. So
for sure,
the normal behaviors rather. So like total victim, like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm worthless. Yeah.
And did with this person, with their this man, did he come around as like did he try to make people feel obligated to him, or did he like through the pity thing, or was it some other?
Yes, he eventually made people feel sorry for him enough to, then it built his ego enough. And then he wrote me saying how these people who used to hate him now love him.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, they forgave him for the mistakes they made in judging his character before. Yeah. And they realized that he actually was the victim of the other circumstance, and yeah.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So let's think about, what about, do you think there's a way that you could, like, let's say, assign, or is there some way that we could specifically identify in your head, not in your head, but in your mind, is there a way that you could look at a person and go, oh, that's a collapsed narcissist? I mean, without knowing them that well, or would you need to know them pretty well, do you think?
I think you'd have to know them well enough to know they're narcissistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's true. And so, like, if somebody's like in a relationship, or their parent is this,
right,
what would you say, like, what could they look for? What would be some real red flag signs in your mind?
Usually you kind of have, well, you'll see it'll be like a repeating behavior. It's not like they collapse and stay there. Some of them do. And then they lead a whole different kind of life where they're just the victim, or they're just whatever, like you were saying, they've changed to the point where they can't put the pretty mask back on anymore. So so they take on a whole new form. But seeing it comes and goes in waves in their life, because they'll get collapsed from, it's an ego hit. They get the ego hit they can't deny. So you can look for things like absolute denial, when they're gaslighting to the point where they are in such denial that didn't happen. That is not how it happened. And besides, it was their fault anyway. And I don't even know what you're talking about. And I never did that. But if I did, it would have been to them. And, like that, and there's no reasoning behind it. I mean, it's like extreme versions of the stuff that we already see.
Yeah. And so do you think that there is a, like, when we're talking about let's hold on. In your head, in your mind, what are the differences between a female and a male collapsed narcissist? Because typically, I mean, some men, of course, get by on their looks, but it seems like in our society, money is the thing that, money or power,
control. Yeah.
Do you think, go ahead, I didn't want to interrupt.
Males, I mean, I guess it's usually the things they do for you, the giving, because a lot of female narcissists will give in ways, and then use that as a tool to force you to give to them all the supply they want. So in other words, they do one nice thing. They bake a cake you didn't ask for. And then you have to thank them for 20 years for the cake that you never asked for.
That's right. You didn't eat because you're allergic to half the ingredients.
Right. So I see them using that as then becoming extreme victims. How dare you? That
they do love drama.
Yeah, the drama, everyone turning on them, the victim, or telling you that you are greedy and selfish. I've heard of one that told her daughter to go work in a soup kitchen because she's selfish. In other words, turning her selfishness onto other people.
Projection,
total projection to an extreme. Where, sure, great idea, go help and volunteer and feed people, whatever, but said that way, not so nice, right? It was used. Right. And then, so she's a victim. She's a victim of her daughter's selfishness. That isn't actually there, right? Because she's exposed, because she was exposed in front of more than one person. And so it collapsed the ego. Yeah. And then you see a lot of times, I've noticed, small-minded people, right? Like they become really blatantly like bigotry. Like they pull out the bigotry, or they, you know what I mean? They become, well, we don't like people from this group or that group. And they, right.
And then we're supposed to go, well, they're old, so it's okay. But it's not okay. I know a lot of old people who are not like that. Okay.
And I'm females scramble for control. There's one.
That's what it is.
Yeah, the scramble for control, where if they can't control one thing, they'll go somewhere else and try and control from over here. And
and then of course they generally tend to as their children grow up and move out of the house, they try to continue to control them. They try to control the grandchildren as they arrive. They, like you mentioned, they might be addicted to stuff. They, or they either start then or they increase, right? If that's their choice.
Right. If they're collapsed by you going low contact and it burst, and they know exactly why, but they're pretending they don't know why, then they might go after your children for supply.
Oh, yes.
And take control there. So they're staying in your house because now they're triangulating the kids in, but they're controlling the relationship with the kid.
Right. And then sometimes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say sometimes what I see is this is when, it really all comes down to it's the lack of easily available supply, right? So sometimes somebody will leave them, or somebody will, like you mentioned, or somebody might, we talked about, they lose whatever it is that they have on people, right? Their control, their preferred tool of manipulation. And so you might see like someone wearing things that are too young for them, or someone hanging out with people who are their kids' ages all the time, and not having any people their own age.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
The extreme plastic surgery people, or not that there's anything wrong with plastic surgery. I mean, I've thought about Botox, you know what I mean? But I might do it sometime. Did you say you did it?
I said I do. No, I haven't done it. I do.
I haven't.
I do know the thought, but
I think about it sometimes, and then I'm like,
look what's that?
It's all good. You look great. Don't worry. Anyway, but I think aging gracefully is great.
Whatever.
You're not very much older than me. We're the same. So anyway, but I think everybody has their own thing, and I don't think it's narcissistic to necessarily go and do something with your face. I'm just saying what I see with collapsed narcissists specifically is that they will go overboard sometimes.
Oh yeah,
in uncomfortable ways with that stuff, or they wear things they shouldn't, or they, whatever. They try to hold on to their youth instead of some of them, and then some of them go the other way with the program act or whatever.
I also think that the smear campaign is a form of collapsed narcissism behavior from a collapsed narcissist, because they are doing everything they can to point the blame, to victimize, to be the victim, to put you down, to make sure that the whole world thinks that something's wrong with you, because they're protecting an ego that is either right on the verge of collapse or has already collapsed in your eyes,
right?
Or whoever you've told, right? And so it's a scrambling self-protection mechanism and it's right either at the point or after the collapse. Especially if they are highly guilty of things.
Absolutely. Yeah, talk about that a little bit. The highly guilty part.
Well, I like, for example, a story of one person who married a financial swindler, really, and was extorting her. And she said no and bye. And so before anything could even, before she could even have him leave the house, every friend, every relative, every acquaintance, every work person knew that she was, in his opinion, a narcissistic bee with blah, 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 who was right about to kick him out of the house when he doesn't have a job, and poor him, and oh my God, what did you do? Into a complete collapse, because she could have exposed him with one piece of paper.
Isn't that just
yeah? So you can.
And she probably didn't, because
he was right on the verge of the collapse. He was in the collapse within his relationship. He was right on the verge of total exposure to a lot of people, and used the smear to protect and
ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to jump in the chat real quick, see what we can see here. Hey everybody, thanks for being here to the mod squad, including Awful Mom, Jack, and Christine, I think so far. See, and then hello to our members, Ellen and I thought so. Anyway, welcome everybody. We're going to jump right into the chat and see what we've got here. Okay. So I guess John Doe says his wife ex-wife and sister have both gone through the collapse.
Mhm.
Yep. And then let's see, we have lots of hellos to everybody. Sorry for going so slow. Oh, this is a really great point from LNC. She says, with a collapsed narcissist, you remember everything wrong when they can't deny it outright. So if you remember something that happened, and like, oh, but what about the time that this happened or whatever, they of course deny it or claim.
Oh, total. LMC always has the best.
She's got the good comments. That's the truth. Yes. Hey, Adrian. Jimbo says, my ex wants everyone to think I've been unfaithful, but doesn't even try to sort it out. Well, that's a smear campaign, like Lise mentioned. Yeah.
It's
and
probably to protect her own infidelity. Potentially. Potentially. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a possible. I've seen that a lot. When one's cheating, they blame the other. And this is especially true with.
Or it's to just make herself the victim because that's what men do, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. That's a joke. I don't actually believe that.
Right. We don't believe that that's all men, right?
No.
It's not all women either. It's just toxic assholes. Sorry. Well, I shouldn't say that. Okay, hold on. Because there are some situations. I've coached clients before over the years who have gone through, they have become, they've accidentally, I don't know if accidentally is right, but they have had external affairs, either emotional and or physical.
It can happen because you're so sad.
Yes, it just feels good to just have someone not be rude to you.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no judgment. It's just, yeah.
That's why I just wanted to clarify that, because I don't want anyone to think that I assume that just because you did this, then you're a bad person. That's
no, there's circumstances in life, right. But with this, she's obviously she's covering something up, or she's just making herself the victim.
Yeah. Either way, she's doing it for that. Yeah, she's doing it to get attention and or to probably both. Maybe both. At least the one about attention, I'm sure. Okay, LNC says they create problems that don't exist against you to try to get back on top. Oh, that one pisses me.
I know.
And she has silent treatment. That's another one. They will do whatever they can to be in control, always. And this is not just collapsed narcissists. This is narcissists in general. Right. But with a collapsed narcissist, they might be more desperate, and so they might do things that almost make you feel sorry for them. Okay. One person I know was certain that I was of a certain what's the word? DNA makeup. Certain cultures were in my blood. Well, some of them weren't there, and one of them she did not like was there. And she said, maybe I did the test wrong. I don't know if anybody's taking a DNA test, but you can't really do it wrong unless you don't get the sample.
Sorry, my DNA doesn't match your requirements for my existence.
Yeah.
I know.
I almost felt sorry for that person at that moment, because I thought, well, and I said it in the moment, I said, you can't really do it wrong. You either get this sample or you don't.
Right.
And but no, that happened. So yeah. Anyway, a highly sensitive Wookiee. Hello, welcome back. Love your name as always. Says, hi everyone. Have missed being here. Hope everyone's hanging in there. Oh yeah, we're here. We're good.
We're hanging.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Jack says this is just a potent reminder for self-care. Is how I see it. Rest, drink, lots of fluid, all that stuff. Yeah, true. Jack is going through something like this in his own life right now with a family member. I don't know if he's talking about it today, so I'm just going to say that. Jimbo says no one interested in what? What are we talking about, Jimbo? I missed something. Okay. I'll have to find that. All right. Let's see here. What questions can I find? Okay. Oh, Jack says to Jimbo, I think that's not all that unusual when a narcissist deploys a smear campaign. I speak from experience. Okay. Chris says, my mother-in-law used, come on, I'm an old lady, as a way of asking for forgiveness for interfering at her daughter's wedding, at Chris's daughter's wedding. She will not take accountability. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Weddings are like, they're what's the word I'm looking for here? Minefields for narcissistic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
As a wedding photographer, I can tell you. I haven't done it in years, but it was interesting to watch the dynamics in a family, and you could see it when there was one there. You're like, oh, let's just take their picture a lot and get them away from that bride and groom so that they could have
Ooh, you
Yeah.
know, at my wedding, the person who did the wedding was one of the narcissists in my life, the person who stood up and did the marrying part. And, you know, and one of my friends, afterward, as we were going through the lines, one of my friends walked up and said, "Oh, are you this person? You know, are you Angie's whatever?" And oh yeah, this is me. And my friend goes, "I'm sorry for Angie."
Oh.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget. And I was like, of course, I heard this. I was like, and then I just kept on going. What can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do? I heard about it later though. Yeah. Oh, hey, Nicole, Angelina in the house. Hello, welcome back. Okay, highly sensitive Wookie says, did I say this one? I did not. I don't think. If I did, tell me because I'm having an ADD moment here. Okay, highly sensitive Wookie says the blame shifting becomes very strong. Mm-hmm. Mine will literally take the things that I've said about them and direct them at me as if I did the horrid behavior.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. And yep. Mm-hmm.
And then they'll be angry at you for calling out that behavior, or for, you know, whatever, the blame shifting.
Right.
And then, or like, okay, like, hey, did you take out the trash? You to the narcissist. The narcissist goes, you didn't tell me to take out the trash. And you'll say, no, you said you would. Remember this day or that day. And then they go, oh, you always try to pick me apart. You're always, you know, tracking me and whatever.
Right.
Like,
right. Why are you always keeping track of what I'm doing? Yeah.
Right.
Are you going to bring up something from last week?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. And that's just kind of I'm sure that's a much more serious thing.
No, I'm giggling, but it's not.
No, but yeah.
Super frustrating.
Well, our example is silly is what I meant, but it's, you know, just a very simple, but I feel you, and please tell us more things about that if you're interested in sharing.
I was thinking about how they also will lash out at other people. In other words, if they have been collapsed by being caught on something, and then they might tell the people in their life who like, say they get caught by you and you have children with them, and they can't deny it. They can't. There's at a point where it's like, it's right in their face, and so they go into this denial with you, play nice, whatever they do, yell, scream, however then with the children, they'll start talking about the thing that you complained about them in other people. Well, you know, your grandma does this and that. You know, your aunt so-and-so does this and that. You know, your friend's mom, you know what she does, blah, blah, blah. And so they'll start taking all their little fragments of horrible and splinter them out toward other people. And
isn't that interesting?
Really interesting. Like, they're like darts, right? It's like darts. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see here. LNC says, yeah, they start blaming you for the very things they're doing. We just talked about that. Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh. Jimbo says, okay. I think I must have missed one of Jimbo's comments, but Jack says, have you watched any of Angie or Lisa's content on the smear campaign? So yeah, that's a very common, and I'm sorry if I missed your comment, Jimbo. That's a very common, this is part of it. You know, this happens with any narcissist who feels disillusioned with you and thinks they can get supply out of it, basically. I mean, so unless like your local news channels are running video of them actually committing the act, chances are they're going to try.
Oh yeah, even then they're going to deny it or say, I don't know why I did that, or whatever it is. They're not going to,
Yeah. And they will, and this is interesting because I've seen like people above a certain age who will go, oh, I must have just forgotten, and they'll kind of act like they're all sad and scared about it, and secretly they're sharp as a tack. They're just doing it to make you feel sorry for them. Again. Yeah, anything they can do to get attention, to get people to fawn over them, to get people to give them, you know, supply, they're gonna do it. No shame.
And to get away with it, and to take the spotlight off of the truth of who they are and put it elsewhere, so that they can slip back in behind their mask and go on with life.
That's right. Yeah. Before I even knew what narcissism was, I used to talk about a sob story. And what I meant by that is there are people, and now I know who those people are, but there are a lot of people who they create a sob story after a breakup or after any situation that maybe publicly, you know, people are publicly aware of them having some sort of issue or doubt, like a divorce or whatever. Even children going away from them because, you know, adult children
growing up and leaving home.
Right, and not coming back because
that's
yeah.
normal. Yeah.
Right. Well, or the toxic part. I mean, like
Oh,
they go no contact or whatever.
Right.
You know, like someone in my life is currently telling everyone I'm insane and stuff. So that's cool. You know what I mean? But
yeah. You know,
I don't even care anymore. I used to really be bothered by it. But peace is much better than.
I'm glad you don't. It's not
Well,
worth caring. It's not worth caring. You can't argue with insanity with this, like,
right.
It's not even insanity, it's lies. You can't argue with lies.
You can try, but then you just
you're
guilty almost. I mean,
yeah, you're just running on a hamster wheel. There's not, yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who knows you, they know better. And if they don't know you, then do you really care?
Exactly.
You know, and I know that sounds so flippant and like big fucking deal. Excuse me. Oh, big deal. I don't even really say that. I'm so sorry. Leave. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, but allergies. It's the allergy medicine. I swear. Okay. And now I got all distracted. But anyway, the point being, I'm not acting like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal.
It is.
And so I don't want you to sit. Yeah.
No, I get it. It's taken you a long time to get where you don't care.
Yeah. And it literally came down to this one thing. I say it all the time. I'm going to say it one more time for anyone who needs to hear it. Sometimes this is the way I found sanity, I think, in all of this. Some things you can control and you can affect, right? But you cannot control or affect the way these people are behaving and what they're saying. And so in these situations, unless you really want to drive yourself insane, I don't like to feel insane or unhappy. So my thing is, I only allow myself to stress about it if I can and if I'm willing to do something to change the situation. So I probably could go and fight and be drama and play the game with the people over there, but I choose not to. So I choose to maintain my peace and whatever.
Right. It's sort of like, for me, it's like, do I need this person in my daily life? Do I have a choice?
Right.
If I have a choice, I'm going to make the one that protects me at this point. I'm not going to have the drama. And if I don't have a choice, then I have to engage. And then the engagement is short and sweet and, I wouldn't engage in a smear campaign. I would just go on with it. Yeah. Whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah. And if they know you, they'll know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If somebody that I care about, when a smear campaign has happened to me in the past, or if it happens again, my general rule is you come to me and if I think you deserve, that sounds really arrogant, but if it's someone who cares about me and who I believe is genuine in their question, like what really happened, then I'll tell them once. And if they have questions that seem like they're actually understanding me, and I'll answer those questions. But if they go, are you sure? Or they go, I believe this person over you, then I'm like, cool. And I step back emotionally and I just kind of push away from them for a while until I'm past this and healed. And then I decide, is this person really worth my time? Needless to say, my inner circle is quite small. Yeah. But that's
okay.
quality over quantity, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I do know.
I know you do. I know you do. Let's see here. This one is a great comment from the highly sensitive. He says, or she says, I don't even know. I'm just going to say, they say, the delusion, because I can't see the picture very well. It's like a Wookiee.
Wookiee, yeah.
Wookiee. All right. Sorry, I love that name. Okay. The delusion is very strong. After giving thousands of chances, I was accused of never giving a chance. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I watched one collapse recently, and that was their repeated phrase. They never gave me a chance. They never gave me a chance. What? How many years of chances? Like, what? How is that? No. Yeah.
Right. I know that game. Yes, I do. Yes. And you know, being accused of something, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I feel like, what? Are you kidding me right now? What are you supposed to? So, you know, that you say, you make your face and you move on. You know, I mean, it don't waste your energy. This is my personal philosophy. Take it or leave it. You know, my personal philosophy, I do not waste my energy trying to explain anything to a brick wall. Okay.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
So I explain what only to people I think deserve any sort of explanation. And otherwise, that's good. It's fine. It's whatever. Move on.
And the test is if someone has repeatedly refused any accountability. There is no point. That is the brick wall, right? They're not going to suddenly go, oh, I'm supposed to care. Like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
No. And if
I
they
know.
do, it's a trap.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. The traps.
Talking once in a while. Once in a while, we all try to escape a little accountability, but for most of us. But I mean, on the repeating lack of, yeah, that's not worth it.
No, and it just honestly, look, when I went no contact with my parent, I did so because of a nest. I didn't even know it was no contact
Right.
because it was before I officially, anyway. And so at that time, I just did it out of instinct because I knew that if I had to see that person, well, to be fair, it happened around my something they did to my children,
Right.
and so I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say again that I didn't really mean it, but I thought to myself, that I don't want to see this person because I might hurt them. Now, I'm not a physical type. I would never physically hurt people, but I certainly would say all the wrong things. But anyway, I just didn't want that person in my life anymore after this happened. Why am I telling you this? Because I felt an immediate sense of course, fear and all the other stuff, but something that I don't always talk about is this sense of lightness that happened immediately after.
Yes.
Right?
Relief.
Yeah.
Oh my
Relief.
God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could make my own choices as a grown-ass adult who's, by the way, was not being paid for by this person. My life was being paid for by myself and my, but it was a matter of moving forward without that sense of, I always felt there's a weight on my chest. Every choice I made, I had to think about not only what I wanted, but what that person wanted. And very often I made choices that I would not have otherwise made with their feelings in place.
And like that did any good anyway.
No, it didn't, because it was never enough.
Never, right.
And yet I was still unhappy or in places I wouldn't have been. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right, I'll stop talking about that. Ellen says, mine brought, this is a good one. Mine, bought shoes the wrong size, and then got angry that I wouldn't wear them. Because how dare you have the wrong size?
Oh my gosh, why don't you just shrink your feet? Like,
how dare
or grow them? Stuff them with some cotton and wear them anyway.
I mean, seriously. Or like, well, they're too small. Well, right. Okay. Like you said, I just heard you say that earlier. I'm sorry. Yeah. My resentment. This is a good point that highly sensitive woman says, my resentment is the problem, not their abuse. That's in a nutshell, a narcissist. Your reaction to their abuse is considered abuse, which is insane. Okay.
And it doesn't have to be much of a reaction. That's the thing. That's
right. Speak on it.
Oh, I just remember like the gaslighting, like I could almost like you hear a wheel turning and that's the gaslighting starting, right? You're like, oh my gosh, here we go. Okay, do it different this time, girl. And sitting there and going, okay, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to go to sleep now, okay? And then you are so rude, like as if and literally knowing in my head, I'm holding back everything. I'm not going to argue. Even gray rock, boom, like,
yep.
Yeah. So you don't even have to do much. All you have to do is you can question, like if you say, well, why did you even do that? Or what's going on? That's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You were just so horrible. All you do is push and push.
Literally, I used to get yelled at for long days sometimes over one word on phone.
Oh yeah, one word
incorrectly. Hello. If I didn't be hello, then it was
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That one. Okay. And that's the thing. They can take something so tiny. And if you really were able to step back emotionally and look at your situation, you would be able to see that somewhere else, I think they're often using these attacks that are so over such seemingly minor, tiny things. This is something that is, in some cases, a deflection tool. Yep. Even if you don't already know what they're doing, right?
Yeah. They're covering something.
Yeah. And sometimes they're doing it just to prevent you from looking. you know, like they might accuse you of, I know you're cheating on me. How dare you? Or I know you don't love me. You never do anything for, you know, you always look like a mess anymore. So then you, like, if you're female, you start dressing up a little more, not being more concerned about the relationship and trying to like kiss their butt a little more. Meanwhile, you know, you can't even imagine to think about what they might actually be doing because you're so busy trying to please them and trying to not be mad when they're coming home late from work, trying to not be mad when they miss dinner or they don't go to your kids' thing or whatever. And then it comes, you know what I mean?
Yep. It's all deflection, a lot of it.
Yes. Yes. Like they want you to be there holding them up, but at the same time, they want you to look away when they want you to.
Well, it's all about they're puppet masters, right? It's all about
right.
where they want to direct your attention at that moment.
Yes. 100%. Yes. All right, let's see here.
Would just do everything I say, everything would be fine. That's what I was told.
Oh,
like, did you even hear that? Those words that came out of your mouth. Like, for real, hear that. Yes, of course, I'm right.
Because of course, right.
I know how to make things fine. I know how to fix it.
Who cares what you think or feel? But you know,
just be a warm body and that's good. Yeah. Do what I say.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I've never met a survivor who was like stupid or lame. I'm sure there are people, but in our family, only smart, attractive people. Okay? And I'm being honest when I say that. Okay, really, like I'm shocked sometimes. Right, but what happens is that they find you and they see you initially because they're like, oh my gosh, you're super attractive, you're super smart, you're super whatever, and they really believe it in the moment, so you believe it too. But then when the devalue hits, can you hear me? Am I cutting out?
I think you are a little bit.
No. Okay. No. Let me know when I'm back. Am I back?
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah. You're back.
So I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, so they meet you for one reason, right? They find you attractive, or no, we're talking about non-family members, but you know, so you meet your partner, right? And initially the love bombing thing, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, you're so smart, you're so handsome, whatever it is. And then of course later those things become a problem. Like, well, what are you trying to dress up for? Who are you trying to impress?
Right.
You lose, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Right. And then they get to that point that Lise mentioned where they're like, yeah, you're just a warm body in a spot. Even though you have been by this point completely molded into the shape that they thought they wanted you. You know, you're serving them, you're doing whatever you can to not, you know, make. But anyway, the point of all that is by the time you get to that place, at least where they say, hey, listen, you just do what I say and then you'll be fine. There's no way you'll be fine. You cannot do it. I tried it. Trust me.
No, you can't be. There is no, that is the end of days. That's it. Like, there's no,
You either at this point.
That means that they know that they have you.
Right.
And that they can control everything.
Yeah. But here's the tip. Here's the tip. This is the point at which you will be underestimated. And my suggestion is don't, use that to your advantage.
Yeah.
It's most thing. Okay. Moving right along. Adrian says, I'm still living with my mom. It's a lot going on at the moment, and I'm still dealing with a narcissist at work that has a case against me. It's a lot, but just know I'm still living this here. Okay, well, Adrian, I know that's very difficult, and I'm so sorry. I would say, keep coming to these groups. Maybe join one of Lisa's coaching groups, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then also, I don't know what your whole situation is, so I don't want to make too many suggestions, but just stick with it, stay strong. Lisa, any thoughts for Adrian?
Yeah, that's a hard one. You're in the middle of it like that. I think you said everything that I was thinking pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So Lisa and I are going to be doing a special series coming up in the next week or two. So for those of you who have specific questions, I'm sure I've told you this before, but Lisa and I are both coaches. And so we do have private client calls and things like that. And Lisa does an amazing group, which you can see all of that at queenbean.com/groups or /Lise or coaches /coaches. Okay. But I think that Helpful Mom will share some of those in the chat, some of our links in the chat as we go, or when we're finished up. But anyway, Lise is also a coach. So ask us. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today. So if you have questions or you have things you want us to address in those videos that are coming up, and then we'll pick up again with our live stream next week as well. Let us know. And if we'll be possibly looking at not a summit, but like a week of streams in the near future, but we just have to work our schedules. Our schedules are a little crazy. So to match up, right? Did I forget anything, Lise?
I don't think so.
About okay.
No.
I'll try to I'll try to make this less scattery next time. Okay. All right, guys, we are running a little late today. We're gonna have to get ready to leave the. Okay. Sorry, I just saw an issue in chat that I need to deal with. So all right, we will see you guys next week. Lise, any final words of wisdom for our
yeah, I guess we'll see you next week. Words of wisdom. Yeah.
Just remember that you matter, you're important, we care about you.
Yeah, definitely. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have a whole bunch of resources for you at queenbee.com. Lots of free stuff, free support groups, smaller coaching groups where you're actually working one-on-one, but well, not one-on-one, but in a small group.
Well, it's one-on-one. The coaching group is one-on-one attention, one-on-one interaction. It's individual, me and you, like if there were 5 of us here and Angie and I are talking, right?
Right.
And then each person gets a turn. So it is sort of like individual coaching within a group setting.
Right. And one other thing is that you guys have more than one meeting a week, right? Or open hours or whatever.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
3. That's a great deal.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, so I try to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have the ongoing chats, right? With your private chats.
That's on Facebook Messenger, right now.
Yeah. And speaking of that, we are in some other places besides Facebook for support groups. We have the myspanely.com site, and which is totally off site, off social. We have a Discord for members of this channel. We have, what else? We have Life Makeover Academy, which is less of membership and more, but we're working on other ways to message between the groups. And so if anyone has suggestions on platforms that you would like us to, to appear on, that would be very helpful. Let us know your thoughts. All right, for support. And okay, Rachel Griffin, thank you. I have to just really quick, and then we're gonna rock because I've got a call. But Rachel Griffin, I have to share her comment because it's sweet, and also because it's her first one. She said, Angie, I think you're beautiful. Thank you. It's very sweet. And she said, FYI, this is my first comment ever on YouTube, and I'm seeing a live chat for the first time too. That's why I hadn't shared that part. But thank you, Rachel. We're all so happy to be part of that. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Please, thank you. You're amazing. And thank you to our mod squad. I didn't see Bonnie today, but I saw Jack and Hufflemom and Christine. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. See you soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Lise.